Now we're doing it again. Here we go. Hopefully we got audio now. You know, usually you do this part.
What?
Get us on the air. Haven't done it in a minute. Forgot how it works.
I see.
But it's like riding a bike, man. You never forget. Eventually you fall off a couple times.
Oh, look, there's two of them now.
And you break.
Oh, look, there's
two streams. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, so we're back now. Hopefully there's audio.
A text would be like, hey, let's see if this works.
Hopefully y'all can hear us now. Like I was saying, to another edition of Press Play. This is the real one. The last one was the alternate universe. That was fake. That wasn't real. This is real. I'm Michael. Who are you?
Disgusted.
All
Times
right.
2.
All right. Lauren, you here?
Lauren.
Yeah.
Great. All right. So we are back talking about a couple of topics.
They can hear us.
That's good. Glad y'all can hear us. We'll figure this out. Maybe. I don't know.
I must need to get off.
You got to get off who?
Where? What do you mean get off? Get off what? This?
No, she's probably talking about the other thing.
What other thing? This is the only thing that matters.
But she said she was working.
On what?
Her package.
Man,
I'm just saying.
bleep that package. That's right, I said it.
All right, Lauren will join us in a moment once all her stuff gets together. But we're talking about, what are we talking about?
You tell me.
Fortnite, man. Fortnite says bump you Apple and bump you Google. Although more bump you Apple than Google, it seems. Because nobody's really talking about the Google side of this as much as the Apple side.
That's because...
They're your Orbit driver.
I am Carly, your passenger.
Are you famous?
What is that audio?
That's whatever Lauren's doing.
It was on my phone.
Yeah.
I'm not hearing the audio from us.
Oh.
Well, I mean, the audio's there, Lauren. You got to hear it from us. You can hear us though, right? Great.
I thought about people can hear it.
Y'all, one day we gonna be professional.
Nah, I think they like the fact that we're not.
That day won't be today.
Nah, they like the fact that we're not.
It ain't today.
We're up and comers. We're scrappy. Young, scrappy, and hungry. That's what we are.
Hey man, no,
What?
no.
What?
After the performance you did today, you don't get to use Hamilton.
I'll use Hamilton any way I please, sir.
Going back again.
I can mute you, Lauren.
Mute me. Go ahead, mute me.
Hey, look, your internet works.
Oh, yeah.
It's
There
clear.
we go. It's clear now. So yeah, we got distractions out of the way. We're going to start right with, what we starting with,
Oh, I'm
Fortnite?
not frozen.
No.
No.
I think it's the when I'm on Mid Central and all that.
Like I said.
Yeah, we know. You want to kick it off?
No.
All right. He's going to go play in his corner.
Connect. I need to remain connected.
Big news is Fortnite is suing Apple and Google.
Epic.
I mean,
Eh,
nobody cares about Epic.
Get it right.
Okay. The developer of Fortnite, Epic Games, which is owned by Tencent.
It's not owned by Tencent.
It has, the majority ownership is Tencent.
That's 40%. It's not. It's they only have a 40% stake.
They're the majority owner.
Yeah, but it's 40%. They don't
majority.
own. They don't own.
They kind of do.
Oh.
I mean, you want to talk about the engine of stuff? We can get into that, but that's another issue. Doesn't matter. I hate you. Epic is suing Apple and Google because they took Fortnite off of those stores. A little bit of backstory for anybody who is trying to keep up with this hodgepodge of stuff that we're talking about. What was it? Originally, there was news from Microsoft that they ended their streaming xCloud service, the beta service on Apple, essentially saying Apple didn't want to play with them, so they're taking that away. It only works on Android. Then a few days later, Apple says, or actually Epic says, we found a way around in-game purchases through the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. You can go directly to a link that we have. You can get your V-Bucks, which is the account, the money you use to play all your Fortnite stuff. It's a little bit cheaper, and none of that money goes to Apple or Google.
You were telling this story horribly. But can you continue?
You don't want to do it.
I
I asked
do.
you to.
No, I'm just
you
listening.
haven't.
I'm just listening. Keep going.
I'm gonna stop.
No, keep going. What is that noise?
That's Lauren.
Why do we keep hearing it? She has headphones in.
I don't know.
Bruh, I can't hear y'all. That's the thing. I can't hear. I hear every other word. So I don't know what y'all are talking about right now.
All right,
Fortnite.
we may or may not have Lauren. It is what it is.
I muted Lord.
There we go. It's fine. You tell the story.
All right, so the reason why we're talking about this is because this is a big development in not just mobile gaming, but gaming in general. As Michael was saying, Epic is in a beef with Apple and I guess Google, because Google took bullets wasn't meant for them, pretty much. The backstory and why this is important is because Epic is a developer, and as an app developer in either of these stores, they have to pay a tax. It's called the Apple tax, which is 30%.
Well, that's not the Apple tax.
That's what they call it. They call it the Apple
But
tax.
that implies like only Apple does it.
That's why I said Google wasn't a part of this. Google just jumped on board.
Google jumped on board.
Google jumped on board when the original fight was between Epic and Apple, correct?
Kinda.
And the lawsuit is against who?
There are two lawsuits.
There's two lawsuits, but Epic's main beef was with who?
They say Apple.
It's Apple.
Mm-hmm.
Because Apple has a tax. The Apple tax that's developers of that's what it's called. The Apple tax is 30% of your revenue that you have from in-game or in-app purchases goes to Apple.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like the mob, or the mafia. Epic doesn't want to pay that 30%. They feel as a developer they should get at least 100% of the amount of money that is what's the word I'm looking for? The amount of the transactions that goes. They believe that I made this content, I sell it to you, we should be able to get the funds from this actual in-app purchase.
Mm-hmm.
Apple says, not without our tax. Google also has a 30% tax as well. But correct me if I'm wrong, the main beef is with who?
Apple.
So this past week, Epic said, we're going to do an in-app runaround Apple's tax. V-Bucks are what you use. For those of you who don't play Fortnite, I don't play it, so...
No, I'm raising my hand. Like,
I was like,
don't
why are you raising your hand? Like,
I want to raise my hand, sir.
you were supposed to be an unbiased.
Yeah, I'm saying I don't play Fortnite.
Anyway, V-Bucks are what you use in the app purchase in the game for app purchases. So like if you want cosmetics, you want guns, any of those things that you want, that's what you use.
Mm-hmm.
Epic says, hey, to get around the Apple tax, V-Bucks are normally $10, $9.99.
Yeah.
Epic said, if you buy it directly from us, we'll pass the 30% off savings on to you, and you can get it for $7.99.
Mm-hmm.
Apple found out, and Apple kicked them off the app, Fortnite. Kick Fortnite off the app.
The App Store.
The App Store.
Mm-hmm.
Fortnite was prepared for this and had a fight on two fronts. They dropped the lawsuit and they took the 1984 Super Bowl ad and Fortnited. And that's where we are right now.
Yeah. I don't feel like you did a better story with the job.
I did, but I believe I did.
Y'all let us know in the chat who told a better story.
I feel like I did. I feel like I did.
Fair enough. You got to have confidence in yourself. So, what does all this mean? I don't know.
Really?
Not really, because here's the thing.
This was your idea to talk about. I thought you had some thoughts.
No, I mean, I got thoughts, right? But it's like, it's cool, right, that Apple is finally getting somebody's taking Apple to task for the stuff that they do. I don't like that it is, and I wish we could have Lauren on, but she's hearing every fourth or fifth word, so I don't want to have her on because I don't know if she's gonna be able to talk about it.
And she's in timeout.
I don't know about timeout.
She's in timeout.
All right, but
Still mad.
to what a thing that Lauren wanted to bring up, and I'll give her a second, is I wish that Epic wasn't the one bringing this fight to Apple, because it's not like they're so pro-consumer and they're for the people.
Oh, no.
Because, you know, we've done stories before where...
Epic is the bad guy.
Yeah, Epic doesn't want to give creative royalties to people who created those dances that people love to buy with those V-Bucks. So I wish it was another company doing it, but...
You need somebody with $17 billion worth of...
Yeah, you need somebody like you need them in your corner to fight this kind of fight. I don't know... In the end, I would hope that this changes Apple's practices for everybody. I don't know how much that's going to work, because I don't know if Apple cares enough about what Epic is trying to do.
Lauren brought up a good point. There are billion-dollar companies fighting each other. It is petty, but this is what you get when you fight Apple. Ken from Chicago says, when bad guys fight bad guys, no matter who wins, the good guys win. Let me break this down how I see it, and why I think this is, it's good and it's bad at the same time. One, F Apple. I've always said that. As a company,
you have an Android.
I have always said the way Apple handles things, they make good products. The one thing I think Apple put themselves in a corner is because they make good products. Really? Lauren too?
Miss. Go ahead.
Apple created this problem for themselves, because now what you're actually having is a brand fighting a brand, because Apple created this cult of personality in their products. Lauren's over there with Apple, crappy Apple products. She bought what's the laptop Apple has? The MacBook.
The MacBook?
Everybody's walking around with pods. Apple created this whole culture that you are a part of our community. You buy these products, people line up for it. They created this. The problem is gaming has its own culture and its own community. And Epic says, we don't want to pay the Apple tax anymore. And they did a runaround. And they said, we're going to pit our brand against yours. And let's see who wins. Because this is the thing. They knew Apple was going to do this. They know how business works. They know they have to. They know they had to do this to go forward. But they also knew we could lose in court. But you know who you can win? The court of public opinion. And you mobilize your fan base. And your fan base is who? Parents. And you mobilize them.
Well, your fan base is kids.
Your fan base
purchasing power is parents.
The purchasing power is
parents.
They are your fan base.
Why?
Because Apple's fan base is the parents. Fortnite's fan base is the kids.
Oh, sorry, you're talking about Apple. Sorry.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, basically what Epic did was they said, "Oh, we're going to hit you with the lawsuit." But they knew this was going to be a problem, or they don't have. I can't remember who it was who said, "You don't make a shot-for-shot ad of a 1984 Super Bowl commercial if you weren't ready for this fight."
And it's like, oh, so you already had this in the can.
And see, this is another thing. Epic knows they could lose that court case. It's going to be wrapped up for years, because they know going long term, it could be 10 years before this court case is decided. Administrations could change, government, how we look at things could change. But if you win the court of public opinion, that's what they want. They want to mobilize. How many gamers that play Fortnite? Is it on your
I think it was like over 42 million or what I saw, like worldwide.
I thought it was more than that.
I mean, it could be.
I thought it was more than that.
I wouldn't doubt it.
What you're looking at is you're looking at mobilizing those kids. And what you're saying is, we're going to knock Apple where it hurts in the branding. You're not here for the consumer.
Lauren, we missed you. Sorry, your internet's not working. Peace. Hopefully you'll come in next week. We'll try it again with Lauren. If you want to stay in the chat, though, please stay in the chat, because you got a lot of stuff you want to get off your chest regarding Fortnite, so please do. But yeah, y'all say peace out to Lauren.
As an Android hater.
Peace out to Lauren in the video fashion, but she might still hang out in the chat.
But yeah.
There we go.
Why are you doing that?
Just turn it off.
Okay, so This is where I think Epic can win and will win. They're not trying to get. They're going to win. They want to win in court. But right now, where they want to win is a court of public opinion.
Yeah.
Because what I think they want to do is they want to meet and bring Apple to the table. Because Apple doesn't negotiate with that 30%.
Right.
Apple's like, and I say this, Apple is the mob, the mafia. Apple's like, I'm getting my 30%. I don't care what happens to you. I don't care if COVID happens. I don't care if your company goes under. We want our 30%. You figure out how to pay your people elsewhere.
Yeah. I'm curious to see if this is actually going to work, because in the story that I told Better Than You, I was letting everybody know that this whole fire thing, that this firestorm started with Microsoft announcing that they weren't going to put xCloud on Apple devices. Mm-hmm. They're going to stick with Android devices because they figured out how to work. But they said the whole xCloud.
Because why?
I feel like you cut me off in the middle.
No. I mean, you said something, but you didn't say why they figured out how to make it work on Android.
Oh, I mean, I don't know why. I just know that they did.
It goes back to this whole idea that we've been talking about before, is Android was willing to play ball with the...
Oh,
and that
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
so,
okay.
in other words, you need to go into that a little bit more.
Yeah, so you keep talking about this Apple tax, and it's true there is an Apple tax, but there are other people that also have taxes too. Mm-hmm. There is also a 30% tax on Google stuff when you do in-purchase transactions. But there is a workaround on Google that Google has acknowledged. They don't try to hide it. You can download third-party apps
directly from
Google to get to the stuff. So it's like an extra step, but there is a way for you to still do these things and maybe not necessarily pay Google.
But it's not just a workaround. Android devices acknowledge you can do this. Mm-hmm. If you have a Fire Stick, it comes from Amazon. There is an app. There's if you go over to settings, you can literally download whatever you want. Get a couple of apps like Downloader. So let's say right now, HBO Max is not on a Fire Stick because Amazon is fighting with Warner Brothers and AT&T over rights to who can play what. Mm-hmm. You can get the HBO app. You can't get HBO Max. Go over, turn on downloading third-party software, and you can download HBO Max.
Right.
It's not a flaw. It is all Android devices allows you to do this. So this is what you were saying about there's a workaround that Microsoft says Android devices allows you to do this. Whereas Apple, if you download third-party software, mm-hmm. you void your warranty.
Right. And Apple makes it pretty clear they do it under the guise of trying to keep you safe. That's debatable. I mean, I think most people would agree it's the guise that they want all the money coming to them. So if Epic can pull this off, it would be interesting that they're doing this fight, whereas Microsoft just said, nah, we're good. Because Microsoft is worth more than Epic by billions.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that Microsoft didn't try to take that fight to Apple.
Microsoft didn't need to take that fight to Apple.
Yeah, but it doesn't go back to their whole strategy of we're trying to get Game Pass everywhere, including
True,
Apple?
but this is the thing. They don't need Apple.
Yeah.
Apple, this is the thing that I don't think a lot of people, and the reason why this is so big, and I don't think people understand where the future is going, and I think certain companies do, and I think Microsoft is in the forefront, and I think the way Apple is doing business, they kind of get it, but they're still, it's not just in the hardware anymore. Mm-hmm. It's in the software, and it's also in, do you have the content? Apple needs content. That's why they built Apple games. They built Apple TV. Mm-hmm. They want to have you buy their devices, but also stay in their universe.
Right.
Microsoft don't need you to do that. Microsoft is like, we got Surface tablets, we sell PCs, we have Xboxes. You can play however you want to. Mm-hmm. Apple, you could be the one that's missing out. Mm-hmm. Because who do you think is going to make more? Who do you think in the long run developers are going to want to work for? Apple, who takes 30% off the top and doesn't allow you to have workarounds within their development, or a Microsoft, an Epic, a Sony. Mm-hmm. That's why Microsoft's like, we good. We don't need you. That's why Microsoft doesn't need that fight. They have other issues.
Yeah, they got a lot of issues that we'll get to those.
We'll get to those later.
What do you think the final outcome of this Epic fight with Microsoft, with Apple is.
Apple comes to the table
Because
10 years from now.
it's a thing, right? Because going on that, friend of the show, Andrea Mock, she texted us about this story because it was a big deal to her. And that,
Why was it a big deal to her?
because of her son. It's interesting to see how big this story is getting because a lot of times video game stories will go to your Polygons, your Kotakus, your IGNs, your big players, Giant Bomb. This story is on CBS,
So
CNBC.
CNBC.
It's
on
everywhere.
Fox Business
Yeah,
News.
it's everywhere. So I mean, this
It's
is
not just on air. What is it? Ars Technica.
yeah, it's Ars Technica.
Okay.
Yeah, it's everywhere. Major players are talking about it. We ran a story about it in our 7 o'clock news. Everybody's talking about this because they know how big of a brand Fortnite is.
Not just how big of a brand Fortnite is. It's also because this is the thing that I think a lot of people aren't recognizing that Epic is doing that I think is smart, and it goes back to the thing that we've been talking about since we started this show. Ken from Chicago, let me tell you why I don't think Apple's going to cave anytime soon. Apple's not going to cave until they see that bottom line hit. And Apple's not going to cave until at least a couple of cycles. They want to see how well this plays. Now, two things I want to note. Fortnite is still on Microsoft Store. Fortnite is still on the Galaxy Store.
I mean, it's everywhere, essentially, except for Google and
So,
whatever.
so the thing is,
And when you buy stuff through the Microsoft or the Sony store, you're still paying Microsoft and Sony
Yeah.
a percent tax too. But nobody's really talking about those.
the reason why is because Apple's the one who's because this is the thing. I don't know this for a fact, but I believe those other companies follow suit because Apple is the leader in this market. They are the first group to put together the Apple Store. It's literally the consumer leader when it comes to these things. Everybody markets or copies them when it comes to building new platforms, new peripherals. Samsung and Apple got into it because Samsung was basically saying, they basically were like, remember that meme? Hey, if you would copy my homework, just change a couple things. Samsung's like, all right.
Yeah,
and turned
pretty
into
much.
this, and then they got sued.
Yeah.
And Apple sued them. Apple's notorious for saying, we are here as a company to protect your privacy. We sell these products. That's why they're expensive. But Apple, at the end of the day, is a brand. And that's the one thing I don't think people are paying attention to. And the one thing that brands do is they give people a sense of purpose and they give people a sense of community. Michael, what's your favorite game console?
Super Nintendo,
Why?
because I like the games.
Why else?
I don't know, because it reminds me of a better time. I don't know where you're going.
But keep going.
I don't know.
But
You're
this
right.
is, you say you don't know, but this is the thing.
Uh-huh.
What else was out at the same time?
You talking about Power Rangers?
Nope.
And my love of what?
Nope.
I don't-
What other console was out at the same time? That
Super
console.
Nintendo, Sega Genesis.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
And which one did you pick?
Pick Super Nintendo.
Why?
I mean, real story, because my parents only had to pay like $20 for a Super Nintendo over a Sega Genesis.
True, but
I
it all,
bought a used one from somebody.
but
yeah.
the thing is, you remember that. You remember those warm feelings. You remember
Yeah.
the games. You like the games.
Yeah.
You consider yourself a Nintendo person. You buy all the things Nintendo comes out with.
Yes.
You have considered yourself a consumer of Nintendo products since that first
I feel like
console.
we should have done it, started with Switch and gone back.
Nope. Because this is the thing.
Yeah.
Apple's problem is
Uh-huh.
is that they have a core group of people who are Apple products. Epic is saying, we're doing the same thing. And we're going to destroy your brand by using your own ad against you, marshaling our community, our culture, our force
Yeah.
against you. And that's what, because this is the thing, I don't know if you guys know this, what we do here, we've had a lot of meetings within our company about brand. Like, what do we stand for as a company? What is Tegna? What is News 19? What are the stories that we're going to tell? There are certain stories we don't tell. that you'll see at other news stations. There's certain things we won't do, and there's certain things we do that other stations don't do. It's all about brand. Epic is trying to cultivate a brand and saying we are here for the developers. Now, is that true? No. Because we know that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't
There
matter.
are lawsuits with them being defendants that prove they're not.
But that's not the point. The point is they're trying, because right now, what's the hashtag? Free Fortnite.
Free Fortnite.
Bring it back. They don't want to win in court. They want to bring Apple to the table to destroy these rules through the court of public opinion, and that way bring them to the table.
Quick question for you guys in the chat. Let us know, guys and gals, in the chat, who actually plays Fortnite? Do any of you play Fortnite? I just trying to get an idea of who does and who doesn't. Because I played Fortnite twice with a friend of the show, Nick Jones's help. I played on his Xbox. I get it. It's not for me.
Yeah.
It moves too fast. I don't want to build and shoot. Let me do one or the other. Whatever. I recognize what it does, but it's not for me. So I'm curious if this affects your love-hate relationship for Apple, if you guys play Fortnite or not. Also, what was I going to say? I was moving and talking about that. I can't remember what else I was going to say.
A lot of people are saying, nope, it's not for them.
Oh, okay. Oh, the other thing I was going to say is, like, a lot of people are saying, we're not going to see action immediately.
Nope.
It's going to be years before this is probably fully settled. But even before that, I think it's going to be months before we see, actually it might be 2 or 3 weeks before we hear a larger fan cry. Because if you already do own Fortnite on Apple stuff, you can play it right now.
Yep.
Until updates come.
And then you won't get any updates.
Right, which I think is the end of August is Fortnite Season 2, Chapter 4, whatever that means. So all that new stuff you're not going to be able to play. So I wonder in September is when we're going to see an even bigger reaction.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. Right now, with those people who want to play Fortnite on Apple products, or those kids who wanted to play it on Apple products because that's what their parents bought. Those are the people who, as you said, hold the purse strings.
Yeah. I
can't play it on my iPhone or my iPad. I'm going to have a negative reaction or negative thoughts about Apple. Epic is saying we're not just in the fight for right now. Epic is saying we're in the fight for the long haul, because our next game that we build, or our next, remember, we were on here, it was this year when Fortnite blacked out, and it literally was a worldwide story.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, again, and I'm biased, I admit, I don't like how Apple does things, but what I will say is, these are not a good guy versus good guy. These are multinational corporations fighting over profits.
Yeah.
That's what's going on.
Yeah.
And they're trying to figure out how we can negotiate these profits to get the most money out of us. And Epic is not a good guy. Apple's not a good guy. They're just corporations. They're not people.
I would definitely like to see those people that didn't get royalties from their dances sue Fortnite again now under the guise of. So what are you guys going to do? It would be curious to see if they do that.
And I'll be honest with you. And this is another thing. If Epic had said, you know what? Let's save face. We're not going to give you royalties, but we'll cut you a check. That would go a long way to building this brand. And that's the one thing because at first when I heard this story, when you told me about it, I had seen it, but I was like, eh. And then I started getting more into it, and I was like, oh, this is a bigger deal than people realize, because the future of gaming isn't consoles. The future of gaming is what Nintendo is doing, what Microsoft is doing, with the actual service.
Yeah.
The hardware it's important. I'm not knocking that, but Michael's brought up time and time again. Game Pass is something that is here to stay, and more people are going to start utilizing that versus having the biggest, baddest console. Because right now, a Switch is not the most powerful console. Hell, it's not even the most powerful handheld console of all time, and it is forever sold out.
Yeah.
So that's what I noticed, and I think people are going to pay attention to in the long term. Epic is not just in a fight against Apple right now, because I think what they're saying is if we can get Apple to come to the table, everybody else will follow suit.
Yes. So that's it for Fortnite and Epic and Apple and Microsoft and Google. And we can move to Microsoft. Big news from Microsoft. Halo Infinite is not coming out day one with Xbox Series X. Good.
Oh.
It don't look good. It doesn't look good.
Does it not look good or does it not look next gen? Because those are two different things. Because I don't think it looks bad.
You know what, Gary? It doesn't look next gen. I think it looks completely fine. But I was like, man, this is like an Xbox. Like things are they're clean and they're pristine, but it doesn't look like it's really. Man, this is pushing the Xbox Series X. Because Phil Spencer and his team at Microsoft, they've all been talking about Halo Infinite is the showcase of the Xbox Series X. Although, you know what, looking back now, they may have been like, it's going to look best on Series X. But either way, it was synonymous that Halo Infinite and Xbox Series X needed to come out at the same time. Or at least they made it feel like those two needed to come out at the same time. They have since said, due to coronavirus and other stuff, blah, blah, blah.
Coronavirus.
I mean, that probably had something to do with it. Maybe 10%. I don't know.
I'm gonna give you the face my baby gives me.
It had a little bit to do with it, maybe. I don't know. But they pushed it back to 2021. We don't know when 2021. I'm curious if it doesn't come out till next year.
Honestly,
Like next holiday season. Why
honestly, wait till the 20th anniversary.
not? When is the 20th anniversary?
November.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
Oh, that'd be pretty cool. Okay.
Wait till November. The
Yeah.
pressure's off.
Yeah, that'd be a nice little celebration or whatever. So now I'm curious, what does this mean for Xbox Series X? Like, what's your big game? I know you got Game Pass,
You ain't
but
got one.
I can play Game Pass on
You ain't
my
got one.
Xbox One X.
You ain't got one.
Yeah, that's just, I don't know.
I will say this.
Uh-huh.
I told you so.
What'd you tell us?
That Microsoft wasn't in it to sell you a console. Microsoft was in it to sell you a service.
I said that. You didn't say that. I said that.
As I was saying,
You're not going to do this to me, sir. Roll the tapes.
you know how you feel right now?
Yeah.
That's how I felt.
Okay. That's it. Roll the tapes. I'm the one that said that. Anyway, go ahead. I hate you.
So, PlayStation was like, look, if you want to play games, you come here. Microsoft is like, we're trying to build for the future. We have this xCloud. We've got this console. But, what?
I'm looking at Lawrence. I remember Michael saying that. Go ahead.
Too bad we can't hear you say it.
Yeah.
I feel bad for Microsoft. I actually do. I actually feel bad for the company and the people who put in this time, because there's nothing worse than thinking you did a good job and you it's like that meme of the otter who says you thought you had something good and you showed it to see and they didn't laugh.
Yeah.
And Microsoft is like, man, they rolled that thing out like they were about to kill the show. And I said,
they were really happy. Well, I mean, you would think that they were really proud of what they had to do with that Microsoft Xbox showcase, and
this is the thing, Brian Gamer, you tell us why we're completely wrong on Microsoft takes. This is what I say about Microsoft. I'm not knocking them as a company. I think what they're trying to do is actually revolutionary. But I also think in order for you to succeed in getting someone to buy a next generation console over another next generation console, you have to have something that I can only get from you. Mm-hmm. Right now, thanks to you, I have an Xbox One. Mm-hmm. I have no reason to buy an Xbox X. Whatever.
Series X.
Whatever. I don't care. Whatever.
I'm just saying, Series X.
Whatever it's called, I don't have a reason to buy it. If you are a PC gamer,
mm-hmm.
you don't have a reason to buy this.
Yeah.
If you use Game Pass on your tablet or whatever, however you play games, you have no reason to buy this system. And I understand there's going to be games you want to play next gen wise, and I understand there's Forza coming out, and there's a lot of things that are coming out eventually. But as a launch title, not having Halo Infinite is good and devastating, because you want those initial numbers to be good when you sell. That's the bad side of it. Mm-hmm. The good side of this is saying, Microsoft, you know what? I salute them, because that took courage
Oh, for sure.
to say, we're not going to crunch. We're not going to force this game. Microsoft has already said they're not going to have ray tracing with this when it came out.
Now they can add it, hopefully.
Now they can add it. Yeah. So all the things that they were going to rush to get, they can now wait, take their time, because there's no rush. According to Microsoft, according to 343 Studios, this game is supposed to be for 10 years. There's no Halo Infinite 2 or whatever coming out. However, this game, the longevity of this game is supposed to last for at least a good number of years.
Right.
Take your time. I would rather you take your time with it, polish it, bring it out, and then say, this is why you needed this system, this is why you needed this game. Because then that bolsters your idea of, we're in this for the long haul. And it bolsters the idea of, this is coming to Game Pass as soon as it hits.
Brian Gamer, two things, Brian Gamer. One, I saw you earlier in the chat asking if I played Avengers Beta. I did play Avengers Beta. I enjoyed it. I kind of got a little queasy at times based on the sickness. Also, I sent you an invite, and I don't know if you responded, so let me know if you got my invite for my PlayStation Friends invite. Let me know. Also, you said Microsoft is doing just fine, much better than Sony. And I think Microsoft, the company, is doing better than Sony, the company. But I think in mindshare, people are talking more about PlayStation than they are about Xbox.
Because there's two different things going on. They're both selling two different products to you. Sony has always been and I think people are misunderstanding, there's two different strategies going on between Sony and Microsoft. Sony has always sold you what? Things. Sony's always sold you a television, TVs, VCRs, DVD players. They have a movie studio.
Yeah.
Microsoft ain't got that. Microsoft's main thing is selling you what? Software.
Services. Yeah.
Operating systems. Now, they did get into peripheral market. They did get into that. They've gotten into selling video games. But primarily, there's two different philosophies from two different companies.
Yeah.
I personally like Sony more because of the games that they create. That's just my bias. I admit that up front. I do like what Microsoft does, and there's a lot of Microsoft games and things that they do that I can respect, and I say, wow, as a company, that's nice that they look out and they try to do things differently. But I think if you're going to ask someone to put down however much money you're going to put down, this is a lot to ask if there's not a game or games that says you need to buy this.
Yeah.
And that's the difference between the two. It's a philosophy difference. And the fact that you have a Spider-Man game, and Miles Morales at that, coming to a console at launch, then you have Horizon Zero Dawn. Yeah, you have Assassin's Creed on both consoles. Cyberpunk 2077, that's Blade Runner, sorry. That you have these different games coming out helps bolster each line.
Yeah.
The question is going to be is whose console runs better? What games do you have a better experience with?
Yeah.
And that's, the consumer will decide that. But I do think not having Halo Infinite is a blow to your launch lineup.
Yeah.
Especially the holiday season coming out.
What I want Microsoft to do now is, because I think without a doubt, it's, all the experts are saying it does seem like the Xbox Series X is going to be more powerful, just like spec-wise, than the PS5.
Yeah.
I want them to start doing commercials that can show that. They kind of did that at the beginning when they were like, you're able to have 5 different games running at once and to boot them up with like relative ease of going between them very quickly. I would like to see them do more of that and show, like, it's at this point it's kind of an ease of use things. Things boot up so much faster, they move faster, all that stuff. Everything is streamlined. I feel like those are the kind of commercials I want to see with Xbox, since I don't have a marquee game. Like I enjoy having Xbox Game Pass, but again, I'm enjoying it on the Xbox One X. So show me the cooler reasons for having the Series X, I think.
Well, I think, and that's going to come from whether or not Brian Gamer brings up that, where was it? Brian Gamer brings up PlayStation games definitely don't look better. I have a PS4 and Xbox One X, and Xbox is much better. Now, Brian Gamer, do you have a PS4 Pro versus an Xbox One X? You know, like you can't. To me, you can't compare a regular PS4 to an Xbox One X, their premier system.
Yeah.
You can't you have to compare apples to apples. What Microsoft needs to do, or or Sony needs to do, is take Assassin's Creed, a game that's on both consoles. How do they look? How do they play? How do they run? Mm-hmm. Somebody's going to do that comparison and have both of them and say, here's how they look. Yeah. We've seen IGN do it. We've seen Game Informer do it and say, when they do their ratings, they say, this is how it plays on Xbox. This is how it plays on PC. Mm-hmm. We all know from the master race that is PC gamers, they believe that their system is superior. We've seen the effects that a PC game has with just the latest Horizon Zero Dawn.
The best thing, as all these people go back and forth, Ryan Porter says the best, we all need better internet. That's true.
Oh, yeah.
Because these games are not getting smaller.
Nope.
And I don't have data caps now, but I imagine I could see Uverse putting data caps in soon. Because you're going to be downloading, I know I'm going to download a lot more stuff now. So,
and
yeah.
This is the one thing I think, the one thing that, and it goes back, Brian Gamers brings up, check out Digital Foundry on YouTube. You're correct. The one thing that I will say that I like, that I guess goes back to my original argument why I think Apple bit off more than it can chew and didn't see the trap laid for it. We're now talking about the same thing. We're talking about gaming. Mm-hmm. But everybody, and not that we're being negative, but because that's not who we are, but there is camps of PlayStation, Xbox. I play both. I don't care. As long as it's a good game. Like right now, I love Outer Worlds. I'm playing it on Xbox One right now. Due to Game Pass. I love that game. Bethesda, watch your back. Because Outer Worlds, woo! Man! Let me tell you. But this goes back to why I think Apple bit off more than they can choose, because this is what Epic is banking on. Mm-hmm. This loyalty to a brand and the outcry against another brand that you see in the Sega versus Nintendo, or the Sony versus Microsoft that we see right here.
I'm hoping, like what I really want Microsoft to do, and I think Phil Spencer has said this, he talked to IGN about it, that he said the higher ups have kind of given him the go-to to kind of play with the price, to be competitive on the pricing for Xbox Series X. What'd you say?
Kim from Chicago said 5G will let Lauren connect to the live stream.
Oh, man. Woo. You're not wrong, man. You're not wrong. But I would love for Sony to announce their price, and then Microsoft is like,
$50 cheaper.
Yeah, or like even we're the same price. I think that'd be pretty cool if you could say we're the same price, but we're more powerful.
Yep.
I think that's a good marketing strategy. With them,
you know they're gonna do it too.
I think so.
Because they're gonna be like, for the amount of money you pay for a PlayStation, you get more power for less money. The commercial writes itself.
Yeah, and they're gonna give you, I'm sure,
3 months free of Game Pass.
Yeah, probably when you buy. I'm sure there's some type of free subscription you get for Game Pass if you don't already have it.
Here's a baby.
So going back to the Halo Infinite being delayed, to me, I think that's me personally. I think it's fine because I wasn't looking at the Series X for Halo Infinite.
I was.
Yeah, for you. Sure.
I was because I like the lore of Halo. I'm a part-time Halo. Like I'll play a couple of them, but I wasn't a hardcore Halo fan. I was looking forward to Halo Infinite to get back into and see and immerse myself in this world, because it's supposed to be this great jumping on point. I personally liked Halo 5 at bringing different people in. I think one of the best opening of a first-person shooter was Halo 5 Guardians. When they jump out of that ship and you see, to me, Halo 5 was that opening shot. And I know you guys, there are other moments, but for me as a gamer, how Halo 5 opened showed me what a Spartan can do, and a team of Spartans can do. And
Did you play Reach?
I did, but I like Reach.
Fell off on or didn't?
No, it's not that I fell off. It's like Reach is like depressing, man.
Oh, Reach.
So
y'all don't make it, huh?
So this is the thing. I knew what Reach was because Brian Michael Bendis wrote comics, and then they went into the whole Reach story.
Okay.
And also, I read a couple of the books, and I knew what like. So playing Reach, I always knew what the outcome was. It's almost like you play a game and you already know you're gonna die at the end.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, this is like I felt like, man, we don't make it. So the whole time I'm playing it, I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Okay. I only say that because that's a good example of Spartans working together to showing you some crazy teamwork. So yeah, Halo Infinite being there for me doesn't matter. I'm 90% positive I'm going to get an Xbox Series X day one, just because I've said it multiple times on this channel. I don't know what to do with my money, so I'm pretty sure I'll get one day one. And same with the PS5.
Oh, I'm done. The only reason why, and this is the thing, and it depends on what comes out, but I'm telling you right now, I'm buying a PS5 for SpiderMan. And I've been a sucker for buying a PS5 for whatever their exclusive title was. And I'm just like they did with the PS4, and they do with every console, because you did it with Cyberpunk. If they make a Miles Morales PS5 console, oh, they got my money. Let that thing be black and red with some white highlights. Oh, they just got all my money.
Yeah.
I mean, let that dual sense controller be black and red. Guess this baby go eat grass.
At this point, Katie, if you're watching, need you come in the chat and save your child from your husband. You always think that, and like she comes in. So I don't know. We'll find out in a second.
Cut off the internet at the house.
Oh goodness. Okay.
No 5G for you. She like Lauren.
Brian Gamer, get back to me. Or I guess I can just type text in here. Did you play the beta as well? Did you enjoy Avengers? Was anybody playing? Is anybody gonna play the beta this weekend? Because it should be free to everybody on PS4 now, even if you didn't pre-order. So I'm just curious about that. And also, Brian Gamer, let me know if you got my invite. Is she in here? Yes. Yes. Okay. Brian Gamer, I will send you another invite then, because I would love to play with people. Yeah. Other people, are you guys going to be playing the beta? Let us know.
I need to take her phone.
Just curious. So let's get to our last topic, because I think the show's almost done, but I don't know. So.
This show or the show you actually working on?
Both, really.
Yeah, I don't care about that 11.
This is your baby.
I'm a little hurt,
Yeah.
but I am a little happy. So, Warner Brothers has August the 22nd is having this big DC Dome 24 hours of updates and all this stuff that's coming out. But before this happened, Warner Brothers, aka DC Comics, announced a layoff of 20% of its staff. A lot of it was higher management, editors, a lot of people who had been working for the company for years. They had a lot of direct knowledge. What?
Laughing at your wife.
What?
She got hashtags.
How do you kick somebody out of the chat? Let's see how that's. How do you kick somebody out?
Oh man, that's wild.
Hold on, if I highlight. Oh, it's moving too quick. All right, anyway. So, DC, you're right. The rumor was it was going to be 30%. It actually was 20%. So, we saw Bob Harris. Don't y'all start that!
This is the real, you know what? Katie needs to work for Fortnite. Because she'll get everybody, she'll start a movement. That's what, yeah.
I see. Nobody's listening to me now.
This is your fault. You brought this on yourself. Feeding that baby grass.
I mean, we don't know if he don't like grass or not. He hadn't eaten it yet. Daddy needs a Miles Morales game.
All right, what's going on with DC?
So DC laid off 20% of its staff. They also got rid of DC Direct. They got rid of DC United, and
for the idiot in the room, what is DC Direct and what's DC United?
DC Direct was its little magazine they used to print.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, Evan needs diapers. Go fund me for Evan. Salad, not grass. I hate you people. I really do.
Man,
I hate you guys.
that's rough.
So, and a lot of the staff from DC Unlimited got laid off.
And that's their kind of like
That's the app.
news thing.
Remember the news thing? They just got rid of all of them.
Yeah.
But
okay.
then remember, DC Universe was the app that had Harley Quinn, Swamp Thing, the comics, all of that in the app.
So okay, yeah, that's where like Teen Titans is and stuff.
Now, Brian Gamer, DC Universe did not go away. However, Jim Lee did an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, and he announced that they're going to be migrating a lot of the DC Universe movies and original programming onto HBO Max. Already, you can see the first 2 seasons of Doom Patrol. You can see
Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn comes out this week.
It's already out.
Oh, it is out this week?
I watched it all.
Okay. The director's cut for Batman vs. Superman is on there.
Mm-hmm.
Did I mention Harley Quinn?
Yes.
Harley Quinn's on there.
Mm-hmm.
So all of that original programming is migrating over to HBO Max. Jim Lee said DC Universe is not going away. There's a plan for it because you could get comics like Marvel Unlimited on DC Universe. So I don't know what's going to happen to that. But with the merger of AT&T and Warner Brothers, we knew eventually DC Universe was DOA.
Mm-hmm.
We knew it eventually. We just didn't know when it was coming. The problem that Evan Lives Matter. I hate who. It had to be Damien Estrada.
Done. I think we might be done for the night, man. Oh no. You welcome to talk, but
So,
yes.
with that being said, they also announced they're going to be cutting production of DC Comics by 20 to 25%. They've also announced that Teen Titans, Suicide Squad, Hawkman, and Young Titans got canceled. So,
The
comic books.
Okay.
It's one of those things that I'm quite sure the coronavirus played a part into it. I know that when you can't have people working and going to movies and people going to the store, comic production being stopped, this whole thing with Diamond, all of that plays into it. Jim Lee says that he's still working on stuff. There's no stoppage of people, the products that they're supposed to be working on.
Mm-hmm.
There's a huge DC event coming out. Xbox Live, Evan Live over Xbox Live.
Oh man. Dang.
Should have never told y'all about
This was your fault.
I blame you. So, Evan Xbox Series X.
Chat's wild.
It really is. It really is. Ken from Chicago, you're right. What is he supposed to say? He did this interview was supposed to be set up to basically promote this DC Dome thing they had coming up. Last week they had the first initial trailer was the Superman music, and they showed the whatever it was. They've been releasing all of these different little tidbits.
Mm-hmm.
They still have this 5G where they age up some DC heroes and bring in some younger heroes.
Okay.
I don't know what's going to happen.
I have a question for you. Well,
Yeah.
I'll let you finish your thought.
No, I don't know what's going to happen. It's sad because DC, right now I'm reading more DC books than I am Marvel.
That's my question.
I'm not more Marvel over DC. I love one of my favorite characters of all time is Batman. It has been, but I love both companies equally. My very first comic was a Superboy comic. My dad got me. I don't like to see anybody lose their job.
Mm-hmm.
Even people who deserve it, I feel bad for them. It's sad because DC let go a lot of upper management. That meant a lot of editors had to be let go. And that's years worth of knowledge on how comics are made, what stories, background information that you just lost. You see people on DC who work for DC who are talking about the different editors who helped them along the way, who shepherded them and helped them through their careers. Mm-hmm. And you saw people not just from DC, you saw people from Marvel. C.B. Selesky, who was the editor-in-chief at Marvel, who was like, we're all hurting from this. Because whenever one of your biggest companies says, hey, we're cutting production by 20, 25%, we're no longer going to have as many books as we had come out. That's not good for the industry overall. I'm really interested to see what happens next week with this DC whole thing.
Fandom thing.
Yeah, but as a comic fan, this was a sad week.
Question for you. Not trying to rile any flames or anything. Marvel has had the same issues in terms of not being able to release movies for stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Why do you think they haven't made these type of cuts?
Because DC...
You may not know the answer, I'm just curious.
Because DC has said we're going to cut where we can.
Okay. And
they have cut differently than when Disney cut. Because remember, Disney cuts with ESPN. Mm-hmm. Remember, they had layoffs earlier this year. Mm-hmm. So the companies that they've cut different places for different reasons.
Okay.
Disney has cut different places, but Disney also has one of the most premier streaming platforms that they are literally spending money because that's the one thing keeping them alive. AT&T still has money coming in through phone sales, cell phone service, I don't want to say landlines, but cable services. Mm-hmm. You still have a couple of those things, but I'm quite sure whoever the accountants are saying, you got to tighten up because going forward, we're seeing we want to do more limited series. We want to do more graphic novels. We cut down on floppies because they're not sustainable. Marvel, which is owned by Disney, cut differently. Mm-hmm. We saw certain shows get cut. Remember, we were supposed to get a Ghost Rider show. Gone.
Y'all, so I don't know if y'all watched this or not, but this week was the series finale of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It was exactly what I wanted it to be. 7 seasons. Good job, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. You lasted longer than most people thought you would. Especially after you decided to cut ties with the movie universe and do your own thing. That's when you really became into your own. So,
and D. Stiesel brings up a good point. I don't think Jim Lee has been the best editor-in-chief, but he's still one of the best talents. I think Jim Lee is one of the best talents ever. But you're right. I think a lot of the management at DC mismanaged that company. Mm-hmm. They shelved their Vertigo line in favor of Black Label, which I'm not knocking. I buy a lot of Black Label books. I think Wonder Woman, Scorched Earth or Dead Earth or whatever it is one of the best books they put out there. But I think DC as a whole mismanaged their stable of comics when it comes to certain things. Bob Harris, editor-in-chief, I think did a lot of things that I didn't agree with. But Disney as a whole has other things that they could cut. Whereas I don't know where Warner Brothers and a la AT&T decided to cut. Mm-hmm. We now see Warner Brothers trying to bolster their HBO Max streaming app. And I think consolidating DC Universe into it is probably the best thing for it. And if you have HBO Max, you can see they have the little thing where they say TCM, Turner Classic Movies, Adult Swim, DC, and all those little side pocket universes, kind of like what Disney has on Disney Plus. Mm-hmm. You're going to start seeing more of that. But as a comic fan, I'm sad because some of the books that DC was putting out, one of my favorite comics right now is Far Sector. Okay. I don't know going forward a Far Sector would get made, or a Deceased, which is their version of Zombieland in the DC universe. That book and the subsequent spin-offs was one of the last year. House of X and Powers of X and Deceased were my favorite books of in the last 5 years. That I got excited. Where I was like, oh, I remember pulling over on the side of the road after buying an issue of Deceased just to read it before I came to work. So I don't know what's in the future, but I do know that it was a sad day. I'm hoping they can restructure. Mm-hmm. And I don't like to see people lose their jobs. I want to see more creative books. And I hope this gives them a level playing field to say, okay, we trimmed a little bit. Let's tell some great stories. Let's move forward. And let's give our fans something that they can come into the comic book store. Because again, cutting those books means that's less stuff that ships to the comic book store, which means less walk-in traffic that comes into the store. That means our local comic book store, which is Scratch and Spin, Cosmic Race, Heroes and Dragons, has less people that comes in. That means that they don't have a customer base.
Right.
So that's why I'm a little sad on those fronts.
Do you think, is there a chance, I mean, you're speculating, but is there a chance those people that left, could they form their own?
The people who left were editors, and so I believe that, those people who left, I would like to see them get picked up, whether at maybe smaller companies with other jobs. Boom Studios is doing fairly well. Marvel could always use the help. Dark Horse. I'm trying to think of some other ones. Titan Books. So I'm hoping some of those people get picked up. One of the things Ryan Porter brings up a good thing. Why don't Marvel and DC help each other? Marvel help DC movies and DC help Marvel animation. It's a win for everyone. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know why Marvel hasn't hired Bruce Timm to make a DC style universe with their animation like they did Batman Animated Adventures, Superman, and Justice League.
Yeah.
The fact that you have not done that on Disney's side is a crime.
Well, it's weird because if you look at Disney XD, which is kind of their teen young kid brand, there are a bunch of Marvel shows that kind of cross over, but it's kind of hard to know which ones work with what. I
like Marvel Rising. I've enjoyed that little series. But I will say this: there's talk that they were going to do a Marvel versus DC again. That hasn't been done in about 20 years to help the business. The reason why Thor is heating up right now from Donny Cates is because he has introduced a character called Black Winter, which in the book, it shows some type of entity that snuffed out different universes and multiverses. And one of the universes that was hinted at was a DC style universe. So a lot of people have been speculating that this Thor book is leading to something big, that it could be the Marvel versus DC. I personally would love to see it. I miss when comics used to do stuff like this. That's why Polygon made that article. You guys can go read it. Batman versus the Predator. I miss books like that. I miss seeing Spawn with Batman. Batman versus the Punisher. Batman versus Judge Dredd.
Batman Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, so
that sold pretty well, I believe.
I miss books like that. Comics has always been fun to me. It's always been that thing where you go and you say, okay, the world is crap. Here's my outlet. Here's where I know it's dark, but it's going to get better. The heroes will eventually win. Right. I would like to see that. Hopefully, maybe with this restructuring, we can see that. I would really like to see a Marvel versus DC again with some of your top creators, some of your top artists. I would love to see Jim Lee get off the editor-in-chief ass and pencil again. Jim Lee's art is amazing.
He was on, I'm pretty sure you guys was on Twitch channel, and I just happened to scroll over, and he was drawing something. It was really, it was like, man, that's great. Jim Lee is one of my favorite artists. So I can't, as editor-in-chief, I agree. I think it was D. Steezel said it. Ain't the best. But as an artist and as a talent, hands down one of the best. I would like to see that going forward. I want to see more of that crossover. And I'm hoping with this, when things settle down and they're looking like, how can we make some more money? And they're like, what y'all doing over there at Marvel? Yeah.
You want Superman to fight the Immortal Hulk? Cool. Let's draw it up. Like, I want to see Captain Marvel versus Wonder Woman. Like, draw it up. Let's show the X-Men versus Justice League Dark. I want to see that. I'll buy every issue of that. That's what I want. I'm hoping comics get. I stay away from certain creators and certain artists because of their political views, and I'm not in it to hear you screech about how comics is changing. It's not the way it was when you grew up. Man, screw you. I'm in it to have good stories of diversity of people and characters doing their best in bad circumstances and situations. That's what we all want to read. And if there's a story out there, there's a comic for you. So for me, this was kind of a blow because I don't know what else is gonna get cut. So,
What got you through the week?
I'm trying to think. Comics, man.
Okay.
Like, if you guys are reading comics, for me it was Empire's really good. I was a little hesitant on that. I'm really enjoying the Batman run, the War of the Joker, and the whole Joker taking over the multiverse. There's a Robin King.
I've seen that cover somewhere.
The introduction to new characters. There's a character called Clown Killer. I have a stack of books that I'm still trying to get through. Strange Adventures from Tom King about what is his name? Guy with a jetpack. Anyway.
Mr. Gold?
No. He didn't have a jetpack. He had skeets.
Okay. I don't know.
But yeah, I that's what got me through. I've been playing Outer Wilds, but like really just sitting in my room with the baby. I have a beer. Adam Strange, thank you. Kim from Chicago, thank you. Strange Adventures, where basically it's wild. Far Sector from N.K. Jemisin. I never can pronounce these names. About a green. I don't even really like Green Lantern, but Sojourner is an amazing Green Lantern. She's a different one. When it comes to Marvel, Thor's been really good from Donny Cates. Indie book, Jonathan Hickman's Decorum. That's what, like, comics. That's what got me through the week. Going to Scratch and Spin, where I have my pull and seeing what's new on the shelf. I didn't pick it up, but going through into the lore of Power Rangers with the Pink Ranger becoming Lord Dracon, and that they're going to reboot the whole entire Power Rangers lineup. You have your Shadow Rangers or Psycho Rangers versus your other it's just so, like, there's so much. So that's what got me through the week.
Okay.
What about you?
I'm happy that you're over here reading Power Rangers. That's good. Good for you, man. It's gonna change your life. For me, it was watching the Harley Quinn show. All 2 seasons, I think 13 episodes apiece, so 26 episodes are all up on HBO Max. I binged the whole thing because that's what I do, and it was great. It was a lot of fun. I think we reacted to one of the trailers when it first came out 2 years ago, whatever. We were like, it was interesting, and that show is weird, and it's irreverent, it's zany, it's a little. I think you would like it because it's kind of foul and it's.
I've been watching it.
Oh, okay.
It's okay. I just can't get over Kelly Cuoco's being Harley Quinn. I miss Tara Strong.
All right.
I miss, like, but I.
How many episodes are you in?
6.
So you've seen Bane a few times?
Yes.
Bane is the hidden gem of that thing.
I like Bane, but you know who I like more? Poison
Killer
Ivy.
Shark? Oh, okay. Or King Shark or whatever. Poison Ivy's great.
I
Bell.
like Poison Ivy, because I think as a character, I think she's always been the femme fatale, and she's always been like a sex symbol. But to see Lake Bell make her a well-rounded character and like a smart person, I like.
She don't take no crap. At all. Yeah. I like the fact of how they kind of the people who created that show, I think, have a love of DC, but aren't afraid to make fun of DC.
Oh, no.
Like Bane is just.
Oh, they make fun of Commissioner Gordon. Like, right.
Yeah. They're just like, but
Commissioner
it's
Gordon
done with
Scott.
love, huh?
Commissioner Gordon Scott.
Yeah, we out. Wow. I'm gonna sign us off.
Am I wrong?
I'm gonna sign us off. You tell these people.
Am I wrong?
I'm not responding to that because woo.
Is Lauren still in here? I need Lauren to watch the show. Kite Man, hell yeah. So what's up, guys? I appreciate. So John Donuts, Rayshawn K, Breck Warren, IMAX, Edward Sanchez Productions. Screw you. No, that's my bad. It was Damien Estrada. Edward Sanchez Productions. We cool. Damien Estrada. I hope a fly lands in your sweet tea.
Lauren Thomas said, "What got me through the week? Watching Marvel's Runaways and House Hunt."
Lauren's still here. Yay!
Yeah.
The internet must have worked. Mick Jones is here. That's what I'm talking about. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers 95 was one of the first movies I remember watching. Loved the skydiving intro at the beginning with Higher Ground playing. That's what I'm talking about. Ryan Porter, I haven't caught up on Lovecraft Country. I will. Kim from Chicago, go to hell. Hashtag feed Evan. Y'all not going to put that on my baby.
You put that on your baby. You make this up. You put that on your baby.
They didn't have to follow it up, man.
You did this, Ricky.
I did not. IMAX D. Steezel, Kim from Chicago, Ryan Porter, Zaylin Maru, Brian Gamer.
Brian
IMAX.
Gamer, I'm going to try and give you another PlayStation invite.
All right.
So hopefully we'll be able to play. Yeah.
Sorry, Lauren Thomas. My wife, Joe Ellis. D. Steezel, Breck Warren. I'm going through, trying to get everybody. I think I got everybody.
You said John Donuts?
I did. John Boundless Book Owl, CB Hunts, Joe Greer III, Miles Cage Jr. I think I'm scrolling through. Man, we talked a lot tonight.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. It was fun.
That's also because we started late, so I feel like
Cavius Hale.
longer.
I hadn't seen Cavius Hale in a while. Yeah, guys, you guys really do help. I don't know if you guys realize this. We really enjoy doing this. This has never worked. Damien Estrada, go to bed. Huggies lives matter. I hate you people. Turn this off, man.